Have you ever stood in a room in your home and thought, why do I still have all of this? Maybe you've got cabinets full of dishes you haven't touched in years, closets packed with clothes that haven't seen the light of day, or a spare bedroom that hasn't been used since the grandkids were small. You're not alone. Many people over 70 find themselves living in spaces that no longer reflect who they are or what they truly need. The truth is, life changes with age, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes, our homes and habits don't change with us. We hold on to things because they're familiar or because they carry memories. But what if those things are actually weighing us down? What if instead of bringing comfort, they're adding stress, clutter, or even sadness? In this video, we're going to talk about something surprisingly powerful: downsizing. Now don't worry, this isn't about giving everything away or moving into a tiny apartment unless that's what you want. This is about choosing what adds value to your life and gently letting go of what doesn't. It's not just about physical space, it's about emotional space too. Let's begin with the first emotional benefit of downsizing after 70. And it's one that might surprise you. It brings clarity. When you walk into a room that's calm, clean, and filled only with what you use and love, something shifts. You feel lighter. Your thoughts feel less crowded. You stop spending energy trying to manage your surroundings, and instead, you can just be. For many older adults, that sense of peace is something they haven't felt in years. When the piles and clutter disappear, so does the noise in your mind. It's easier to focus, to think clearly, to feel present in your day. And there's something else clarity brings: a sense of emotional freedom. When you let go of the stuff that no longer serves you, old papers, unused tools, broken knickknacks, you also let go of the guilt or obligation tied to them. Maybe you've been holding on to something because it was a gift, or because it used to mean something. But life is about now, not yesterday. Giving yourself permission to release things can feel like a deep breath after years of holding it in. And that leads us to the second benefit: control. Downsizing isn't something that happens to you. It's a choice you make. At a time in life when some people may start to feel like things are being taken away, mobility, health, driving privileges, downsizing gives you back power. You get to decide what stays, what goes, what matters. That kind of control can be incredibly healing, especially if you've been feeling like life is moving without your say. You're not giving up. You're taking charge, and when you do, you also gain emotional lightness. You start waking up feeling a little less burdened. You sit in your favorite chair and feel the room breathing with you instead of pressing in. It's not about having nothing. It's about surrounding yourself with only what gives you joy, comfort, and ease. Now that we've touched on clarity and control, let's keep this journey going together. Because there are a few more surprising emotional gifts downsizing has to offer, and one of them may just shift the way you look at your entire home and heart. We've already talked about how downsizing can bring clarity and a sense of control back into your life. But there's something even more beautiful that often follows those two steps, something many don't expect. And that is emotional healing. Yes, healing. Downsizing can bring up a lot of emotions. Sorting through boxes of old letters, photos, or belongings from loved ones you've lost can stir memories, some sweet, some painful. But going through those moments, even the tough ones, can be incredibly healing. It allows you to revisit the past on your own terms, to cry if you need to smile, to reflect, and then to gently move forward with more peace. You're not erasing anyone or anything. You're honoring it. You're choosing which memories you want to carry closely, and which ones you can let settle gently in the past where they belong. This kind of emotional processing doesn't happen in a rush, but with each drawer you clear out, each closet you lighten, you'll feel just a little more unburdened. And in that space, healing begins. And sometimes it's not just about the past. Downsizing can help heal present-day anxieties too. For many seniors, managing a big home starts to feel like a weight. There's the upkeep, the bills, the worry about repairs, the what-ifs. Downsizing removes many of those daily stressors. It simplifies life. It says, I deserve ease now, and you do. Now let's talk about something many don't realize. They're missing until they feel it again. Connection. Downsizing can actually bring people closer together. When your space becomes more manageable and peaceful, you may find yourself more open to inviting people in. Maybe it's your children, your neighbors, or a close friend. Maybe it's someone new you meet at a book club or a local event. A smaller, cozier space often encourages warmer, more intimate gatherings. Less chaos, more coffee and conversation, and if you've chosen to move into a smaller home or a senior community, you might be surprised at how quickly new friendships blossom. Sometimes, all it takes is walking down a hallway and saying hello. When we remove the clutter, both physical and emotional, we create room for real connection. And that's something that deeply nourishes the heart. Now let's take a moment here. Can you imagine waking up in a home that feels like a retreat? A place where every item has meaning, where every corner feels calm, where your days are less about managing things and more about enjoying time, people, and peace. That vision is possible. Downsizing isn't about having less. It's about living more intentionally, with more ease, more freedom, and more joy. And believe it or not, there's still one more emotional benefit that may be the most fulfilling of all. One that touches something deep in our sense of purpose and legacy. You see, as we grow older, there's often a quiet, powerful desire that begins to take root in us. The need to feel purposeful. To know that we're not just coasting through the years, but shaping them in a way that feels meaningful. To us and to those we care about. Downsizing, believe it or not, can help bring that purpose into sharper focus. Here's how. When we let go of the excess, the distractions, the piles of, maybe one day I'll use this. What we're left with? Space. Not just on the shelf, but in our minds, in our hearts, and in our lives. And in that space, we get to choose. Choose what matters most. Choose how we want to spend our time. Choose what we want to leave behind. Not just in terms of objects, but in terms of legacy. Maybe you've always wanted to paint again, or write, or volunteer more. Maybe you just want to wake up without feeling overwhelmed. When your home no longer demands so much of your attention, you can finally focus that energy inward or outward, wherever your spirit is calling you. This sense of renewed purpose often brings a surprising boost in confidence. Yes, confidence. Downsizing might sound like letting go, but really, it's taking control. It's saying, I know what I need now, and I'm strong enough to create it. That's something to be proud of. And when others see you doing this, taking action, choosing simplicity, owning your space and your time, it inspires them. It shows your children, your friends, your peers, this is what aging with strength and grace looks like. Now, let's talk about one of the most overlooked but powerful emotional shifts that comes from downsizing. A sense of relief. You might not even realize how much stress your home is quietly putting on you until it's lifted. The rooms you don't use, the things you're always trying to organize, the to-do lists that never seem to end. They carry emotional weight. They whisper at you each time you pass by. Sort me. Fix me. Remember me. But when that whisper goes quiet, when the spaces around you feel light and purposeful, you breathe differently, you sleep better, you smile more. The days feel less like a mountain to climb and more like an open path you get to walk on your own terms. And here's the best part. You're not giving anything up. You're gaining something: peace of mind, freedom, a deeper connection to your values, and in many cases, a better quality of life. So if you've been holding on to the idea that downsizing is about loss, I want you to consider the opposite. It's not about losing. It's about choosing, and that simple shift in mindset can change everything. We've journeyed through clarity, healing, purpose, and freedom. But now we arrive at something deeply human, the joy of legacy. There comes a time in life when we begin to think more about what we leave behind than what we can still gather. Not just in terms of belongings, but in values, memories, and love. Downsizing, in its most powerful form, is not about losing things. It's about choosing what matters most, and making sure it's passed on with intention and grace. When you begin to sift through your belongings, you're also sifting through your story. You hold that old photograph and remember the laughter. You open that dusty recipe book and smell the kitchen your children grew up in. You find your partner's notes, your favorite chair, your travel souvenirs. And suddenly, your life isn't just in the past. It's alive in your hands. By deciding what to keep, what to share, and what to give, you become the author of your legacy. You're not waiting for someone else to make those choices after you're gone. You're doing it with love on your own terms. There is something incredibly beautiful about that. Something generous. Something deeply wise. Think about the comfort your children or grandchildren will feel when they receive not just stuff, but a story, a letter, a family heirloom wrapped in meaning, not just bubble wrap. Downsizing is your chance to connect with them in a way that lasts longer than any piece of furniture ever could. And it's not just about family, it's about you. There's a quiet joy that comes from knowing that the life you've built is being honored, preserved, and passed along in the most thoughtful way. That joy is a gift to yourself, a gentle kind of pride, a peace. You might even be surprised at how emotional but also healing it can be to give something special away, to see someone else find joy in something you once cherished. It's not letting go, it's letting meaning continue. So now, we've explored these 5 emotional shifts: clarity, healing, purpose, freedom, and legacy. Downsizing after 70 may seem like a practical task, but it's really an emotional journey. One that clears space not just in your home, but in your heart. Remember, you're not doing this to live with less. You're doing this to live with more of what matters. And if you've already started this journey, or if it's still on your mind, I'd love to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments. What helped you? What surprised you? Your story might just inspire someone else who's standing at the edge of this same decision. And if you found this video helpful or uplifting in any way, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more heartful, practical guidance just like this. We're here to walk this path together. Until next time, here's to your peace, your strength, and your joy. Here's to living your best life at any age.